Welcome to the structure analysis class. So in the last lesson we have started failure theories. We discussed two failure theories till now. One was maximum principal stress theory, and in the last lecture we discussed maximum principal strain theory. So in this session I'll just try to demonstrate to you that the maximum shear stress theory, that is another type of failure theory. So this failure theory is also called Guess theory because he has developed first time in this theory. So what this failure theory says. So the failure of the material will occur when the maximum shear stress in a material reaches the maximum shear stress in a simple tension at the elastic limit. The maximum shear stress in a material is equal to the half the difference between maximum and the minimum principal stress. So what it says, so when a material will fail, when the shear stress, maximum shear stress of of a of a material, when it crosses, so each material has some particular shear stress. Up to that value only material will sustain. If you apply more shear stress uh, beyond some particular point, then your material will start failing. So that's what we call it, this failure theory. So if you draw the yield surface, failure surface of a material using this failure theory, then the shape of the failure surface will be something like that. So let's derive first our equation and let's see how exactly these things are work. So if sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3 are the three principal stresses at any point of a material on which sigma t is the principal stress in a simple tension at a elastic limit, then what it exactly says. So if you just consider it any three-dimensional body. So three-dimensional body has three axes, right? X1, X2, and you have X3. So three axes you have. So now in the x direction you have the principal stress sigma 1, sigma 2 in the x2 direction, sigma 3 in the x3 direction. And and in that body is maybe, for example, made up of steel. Maybe and it may be made up of any material, but for this example I am just telling this may be made up of steel. And that too steel Fe415. 415. I'm sorry, Fe415. Steel is actually used, so this material strength. So sigma t, so stress sigma t star is for this material is given 415, right? So and sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3 is a three directions principal stress. So now what is the maximum shear stress? Can anyone guess? So we have discussed this in the mode circle when we studied mode circle. If you remember how to draw mode circle. So mode circle always you have the so you have this one maximum major principal axis, we call it sigma 1, right? Sigma 1. So if starting point from O to A, and then we draw minor principal stress maybe up to here, that is B, and this length is sigma 3, right? That's what we drawn. Sigma 1 is this entire length is sigma 1, this is sigma 3, and mode circle is drawn here from B to A as a diameter. So this is like that we actually drawn the mode circle. It will be circle, right? It is not in the, it is elliptical shape, but anyway it should be circle. That is mode circle, right? So mode circle, what was the maximum? So mode circle, in this x-axis you have the principal stress, whereas vertical axis you have the shear stress. That's what we discussed in the mode circle, right? So if in this diagram, what will be the maximum shear stress? So maximum shear stress will be this value, right? So here shear stress is maximum, means radius of the mode circle is basically the maximum shear stress in a particular material. So what is the radius of the mode circle? So radius of the mode circle, what is the diameter? So diameter is, this one is the diameter of the mode circle. So how much it is? It is sigma 1 minus sigma 3. So that is the diameter, right? Diameter of this mode circle. So sigma 1 is entire thing minus sigma 3 will get the diameter. So this by 2 will give you radius of the mode circle, right? So this radius of the mode circle is basically maximum shear stress. So maximum shear is the vertical one. So radius of the Mohs circle will give you the maximum shear stress of a material. So that's what. So maximum shear stress in the material is what? Half of the difference between maximum and the minimum principal stress. So maximum shear stress is half the difference between sigma 1 and sigma 3. That is that. That is the value, right? So this is the same value whatever I have just now derived from the Mohs circle. So this is the maximum shear stress of a particular material. So when the load is applied to this bar, maybe P1, P2, whatever maybe the load is applied. So whenever load is applied, that sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3 stresses will generate inside the body. So, so as long as your stress is under the limit, your material won't fail. But when it reaches to the capacity, then only your material starts failing. So now maximum shear stress in a material, that is the equation we just now derived. So half into sigma 1 minus sigma 3. In the simple case, tension case, for example, this example we are talking, right? So in the simple tension case, so here only one direction. In the tension case means only one direction force is applied. That to sigma star T. That to sigma star T, and other two direction you have the no force, zero force, because I am just applying a simple tension. In the temper tension means what? One direction only you have the force. Whereas no force in this direction. There is no force. In this direction also no force. Only one direction. That's why sigma T star one direction, other two direction actually has zero. So now if you just substitute for the maximum tension scale, so sigma 1 is sigma T star, whereas sigma 3 is 0 for the simple tension case. So that is the maximum shear strain this material can take. So any particular material can take maximum, that much is the shear strain, shear stress, sorry. So if the applied shear stress is more than this value, then only our material will fail based on this failure theory. So how much is the applied shear stress? Applied shear stress is this one, this equation. Whereas this is the capacity. So when capacity is more than the applied, when the capacity is more than the applied stress, then that time our structure will be fail. Our structure will be safe. Material will be safe. When the applied this value is more than this value, then only failure will happen. So that's what is written, right? Half into this, when this value is more than the capacity, this capacity, our material will fail. So if you simplify this equation, you will just half will be cancelled, and this is the final version of the equation. So now, as I mentioned in the last slide also, last lecture also, for the design purpose, we won't consider sigma t as a final value. For example, this material I have considered Fe415. So the yield stress of this material is 415. But for the design purpose, we won't consider it as a 415. We consider the strength is less, not even 415. It may be 200 or 300. We won't consider entire full thing. So how much is the permissible? Sigma t is the sigma t star by safety factor. So this safety factor may be 2, 3 depending on the country. So in India we have some safety factor. If you design a structure in UK or maybe US, you have some other safety factor based on the. So each country will release a book. So that we call it standard book. Like we have Indian standard IS code. So in that safety factor will be mentioned for India what will be the value, for Pakistan or for the Bangladesh what will be the value. So each country will have different, may have different values. So just substitute sigma t star in this equation, and you will get this is our final expression. So as long as sigma 1 minus sigma 3 is less than sigma t, our material is safe. When it crosses, then only failure will occur. So this theory is based on the maximum shear stress theory. So let's solve a problem. So this problem I have considered that is same problem which we solved in the last class. So last class it was the same problem I have solved using the principal strain theory, and we saw that material that the failure did not occur if we consider the maximum principal strain theory. So now let's see, based on the maximum shear stress theory, whether the material will fail or it does not fail. So what is given? The principal stress at a point, that is three principal stress is given, right? Sigma 1, sigma 2 and sigma 3. So these three values given to you. So sigma 1 is 200 tensile, sigma 2 is 100, and sigma 3 is compressive. That's why it is minus 500. And sigma star t, star t means what is the yield stress of the material. So yield stress is also given, it is 200. Now you are asked to find out whether this material is safe or not. So now what is the maximum shear stress? So these equations we have derived in the last class. You just plug in the value half into sigma 1 minus sigma 3. So sigma 1 is 200 and sigma 3 is minus 50. So you will get maximum shear stress is this much, 125 Newton per mm square. So now maximum shear stress in a simple tension, this equation we derived, right, in the last slide. So half into sigma t star. So the substitute sigma t value is given 200, you will get 100. So your capacity, that shear strength of that material can take up to 100 Newton per mm square. So 100 Newton is the capacity. So when the stress crosses the 100 Newton per mm square shear stress, then the material has failed. Now, but how much is applied here? So here it is 125 shear stress generated because of these three combined, these three principal stress, shear stress generated 125 Newton per mm square. So, but capacity is 100, right? And the applied shear stress is very high, 125. So this applied one is very high compared to the strength. So here, hence the failure of the material will occur. So just based on this same problem we solved in the last lecture. So in that we solved using the maximum principal strain theory. So maximum principal strain theory, this material with this loading combination, stress combination, it was safe. But in the same material, whereas if we apply maximum shear stress theory, the failure occurred. So what we have to do in the real life, we have to apply all the theories, and we have to check in all the theories our material is safe or not. If it is safe, then only the design is approved. Or if failure is occurring in any of the failure theories, then also we have to redesign our structure. Thank you.